Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I hope you guys are well. And I know I don't do a lot of videos anymore because it feels like I've done as many videos as I could possibly do. And the people who see this actually see this, and the people that don't, well, I guess they go on their merry way. And I guess the kingdom to come is will be decided from the hands of our Creator. And the testimony of every lesson and everything that I ever teach is always that from the beginning of time, Adam, as you guys know him as Adam and Eve, and it's Kawa and Adam is the right translations of this, but their only mission was simply not to disobey the laws, statutes, and commands of our Father. And their very first commandment that they basically threw in the ditch was not to eat the fruit in the garden. And so oftentimes in life, things look very trivial. Like you can pluck the grape that you shouldn't pluck, or you should, you go in the supermarket and eat a piece of fruit that's in the fruit aisle, or you just do something like that. But everything of that nature is still breaking the laws, statutes, and commands of our Father, because we're not supposed to steal. We're not supposed to do anything like that. And if we did not have the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, the blood of the Messiah, we would all be damned because of the Torah. The Torah is there to convict us and to lead us and to guide us. There is blessings for keeping it, and there are curses for not keeping it. And when you walk with a close guard upon the laws, statutes, and commands of our Father, He walks right beside you with a close guard around you. And the blessings that come from keeping the laws, statutes, and commands of our Father are huge. And every day, nearly every day, people get offended and people leave evil comments and things of that nature because they're very upset, because the laws of God are very clear. It tells us what unclean foods are. It tells us what clean foods are. It tells us what we should eat and what we shouldn't eat. It tells us how we should worship, when we should be worshiping, which is on the Sabbath, right? The seventh day. And so we have strayed from this. The Christian religion has strayed from this in so much that we don't keep a Sabbath anymore. We keep a Sunday. And that is actually the hands of the Catholic Church that started this during the Creed of Nicaea and during all those times back then when they switched the Sabbath to what everybody was keeping, was on the Sunday. And then the Christians will say that, our Messiah, Jesus, says that every day is a Sabbath. And while that may very well be true, there is only one Sabbath to our Creator, and there's only one day that is Sabbath. If you want to keep 6 other days that are a Sabbath and keep worshiping, which we should be doing every single day, that's the right thing. But if you're not keeping the set-apart Shabbat, the seventh day, then we are breaking the Torah, and we will fall under the curses of that Torah. A book often ignored is Yasher, and it goes off, and it's just another reiteration that we should be keeping the laws, statutes, and commands of our Father. When they pull these things out of the Bible and we go our own way and we become Gentiles, we become those who are out of covenant with our Creator, and you don't want to be a Gentile. You want to be an Hebrew. You want to be a Yisrael, a person of God. And the only place that is defined in the Bible is those who keep the law, statutes, and commands of our Father, back in Exodus, will be my people. You will be my people. I will be your God. Just do it this way. And we've had a hard time doing that ever since the beginning. So when we're looking at this book, Jasher, it's a great book. It basically fills in a ton of details that you would never ever have just reading the 66 book King James Bible. And the king, everybody flies a little King James flag and says, no, the king cannot be corrupted. It cannot be corrupted at all. God would not let his word be corrupted. Here's something that you must understand, is that the name of Jesus is not the name of the Messiah. There were no J's in Hebrew. So this man, they would have never nicknamed this guy Jesus. His name was Yahushua or Yeshua. And that is the big joke on everybody, is that everybody is saying Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. And I understand that God understands what's in your heart, and he may not judge you based upon that. But the Bible is clear: when there's one name under heaven by which you may be saved, and you got the wrong name, you're going to have a lot of goodness in your heart that this is going to be okay. Because from the Bible to the end of the Bible, there's the set of rules that we should be keeping, names that we should be keeping. The name of our Creator is Yod-Heh and Vav-Heh. It's Yahuwah, right? four letters. And, if you were a Jew, you wouldn't even say that word. You won't say it unless you're in prayers because they think it's bad that you say it. But yet they've replaced it in the King James Bible thousands of times. Instead of it being Yahuwah or Elohim, they replaced with Lord and God. And those are just surtitles. Those are nothing more than surtitles. It'd be like Mr. Yahuwah, our God Yahuwah. And so if you know the names, this is where we should be putting this into it. There's one name under heaven, and that name is salvation, and that name is Yeshua, Yahushua, right? And if you want to say Jesus the Christ, it'd be Yahushua HaMashiach. So back to Jasher here. When we're talking about Yitzhak, we are talking about Isaac. These are the names. His name was never Isaac. His name was never Abraham. It was never Jacob. Those are all Greek names. Those are all names that they wouldn't be called. These were Hebrew men. So Yitzhak is Isaac, and when he's calling to Yaakov and his sons, he's calling to Jacob. So you're basically, when you're saying Yaakov, you're talking about Jacob. When you're saying Yitzhak, you're talking about Isaac. So here's a little passage I just saw that I thought was very interesting. I thought I'd bring it to your guys' attention. And Yitzhak called Yaakov and his sons, and they all came and sat before Yitzhak. And Yitzhak said unto Yaakov, Yahuwah Elohim of the whole earth said unto me. And guys, if you can understand this, Yitzhak and Yaakov are your ancestors, right? They are your uncles and your grandpas, right? These are the people that brought out the majority of the world that is out there, right? So these are family. These are in a genealogical line. You may not run right up to them, but the same commands fit for them as they fit for you, and they will always fit. If you want to be a child of the Most High, you keep the laws, statutes, and commands of our Father. So back to this, verse 7. Yahuwah Elohim of the whole earth said unto me, unto your seed will I give this land for an inheritance, if your children guard my statutes and my ways, and I will perform unto them the oath which I swore unto your father Abraham. This is very interesting, because if you ever swear an oath, if you ever, I swear I will never do this again, or I won't be doing this, or something of the sort, our Creator swears as well. Our Creator also repents as well. Our Creator also feels bad when He has created humans that do evil things that are abominable to Him. And when He says that swine is an abomination to our Creator and people are still out there selling it and buying it and eating it, you are not a child of the Most High if you're eating food that He calls an abomination. He's not going to look at you and go, I like you that much, but you're doing horrible things that I don't like. It's not going to work like that. So this same oath that He swore unto the father Abraham, that is your grandpa. Somewhere along the line, that is your great, 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 I could go on forever, right? Grandpa. Now, therefore, verse 8, my son, teach your children and your children's children to fear Yahuwah, and to go in the good way, which will please Yahuwah Eloheka. For if you guard the ways of Yahuwah and His statutes, Yahuwah will also guard unto you His covenant with Abraham, and will do well with you and your seeds all the days. So the modern Christian religion will have you thinking there is a new covenant that is outside of this old covenant. That is what I hear all the time. And the Christians will go, we're under the new covenant. And I will pull up the new covenant to them, and the new covenant is exactly the same as the old covenant with one other thing. Basically, you need to keep the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator if you want to be in covenant with Him in the new and the old. And you also have something in the new covenant, that you can call upon the name of Yahushua to be saved. There is a Levitical priest. When we go through Leviticus, when we go through all the teachings in Leviticus, and that is what I hear all the time from the Christians. They're like, we don't have those priests. What are you gonna go kill 10 oxen, Jason? You still do Levitical priesthood? No, we don't, because that was a ceremonial setup. That was people who had been trained, lived that life, orchestrated to it, knew exactly how to clean the stuff, knew exactly how the temple worked, knew exactly how the stuff works. Those people are long gone. We do not have a priest. Our priest that we have is our Melchizedek priest, which is Yahushua HaMashiach. Jesus the Christ is our priest. And it is by His blood sacrifice of His own body that became our atonement for sin. But if you continue to live in sin, The atonement will not continue to coat you. This is not the Christians have this so mixed up that they believe that the blood of the Messiah, they can go off and they can do whatever they want to do. They can plead the blood, and the next day they can do it all over again, plead the blood. They can do it's a revolution of violence, and it is sick, and it's very sick. And they say that. It's not what goes in a man that defiles him. Guys, there's something very clear that people need to understand. When you see something in parentheses in a Bible, that means that is the people's, outside of the people who wrote this, these are the people's best idea of what they think it means. And so when it says in parentheses, therefore God made all food clean, that is not clean. You're taking the words of a man and you are basically eating pork and you're living like the devil. And it's not like that. We are set apart people. We are supposed to be set apart people. We are supposed to be set apart from the world in the way we eat, the way we act, the clothes we wear, the way we ordain ourselves. We should be walking around with tzitzits. We should have tassels on all four corners of our clothes. So that when people see us, they know and they can go, hey, do you know the laws, statutes, and commands of God? And if you're wearing tzitzits, most likely you do. Now, this doesn't count for the Jews. The Jews wear white tzitzits. The Jews don't even put the colors in their tzitzits, and they are outside of the covenant. They are not in covenant with our Creator. So all the Jews of today, people believe that these people are the people of God. It has never been like that. They are not the people of God because they are not keeping the commandments of God. Just because they have poached up land over in a place they call Yisrael does not make them God's people. And so you have the entire world that has been hoaxed. And you can't even say, they're like, oh, you're anti-Semitic. You can't even say it. Guys, that is the hoax, that they have made everybody think that these are a poor people that have just been decimated when that is not the case. It's all been a trick. So if you want to be a child of God, it is simple enough. It is the same thing that was back in the day and is simple enough that it is today. And that is that, like in verse 8, that if you guard the ways of Yahuwah and his statutes, Yahuwah will also guard you unto his covenant with Abraham. That is a promise to you, and that is something you can keep today and you can hold on to. But you need to start reading your Bible. You need to start in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy and understand what the Torah is. Before you go off into all the Paulisms and everybody, literally people are disciples of Paul these days and they are not disciples of the Christ. Because if they were disciples of the Christ, they would be keeping the commandments of our Creator, which our Messiah did as well. Our Messiah kept the laws of God, but so many people want to eat their pork. They want to eat their bacon. They think it's so good to do this. And they are losing their spot in the kingdom because of their earthly lust. Guys, I hope you have a good day. Shabbat shalom. I'm out.